Are we live? Are we live? And we're live. We're live. Hello. Hello. I'm a bit more positive today. I'm a bit more positive today. I found something. Yesterday I came with. Oh my God. I'm not in a good place again. Yeah. I'm not in a good place again. I'm depressed. I'm down. I'm suffering. I'm fighting life. And well, the best I could do was mix it up. So mix it up is the solution. Well, a lot has happened in a short space of time for me. And let's put it to technology. All of my technology has been breaking. I bought a new therapy machine. I bought a new therapy machine the other week, which I really need for pain, this specific machine. And I found one on eBay. It was listed about half the price of if not a third of the price of a better machine. So it was a good deal. So I was really happy that I got it. And I started using it and it was really good. It was really good. It's exactly what I needed, this machine. And then today I look at the it's got like a paddle, a coil where it emits a frequency. This one's called a PEMF machine. PEMF machine. And well, PMF is just a technology. I don't know how to describe the technology. They all feel a little bit different to the human body. The body hears them all a bit different, and how the body hears them dictates what they're suited for. And PEMF is really good for pain, and that's one of the that's what I need at the moment. Pain. Yeah, I might have said it once or twice on this channel. I suffer with pain. I have done for a little while now. And this is like a fantastic thing. I've got my frequency for pain. 5 hertz. Gabriel's personal frequency for pain. He found it. It works on himself better than anything else. So for somebody else, I can imagine a different frequency might feel better. But my application to pain and body says 5 hertz is where it's at the moment. I might find better ones in the future, but at the moment, my best one is 5 hertz. And I really reckon I understand pain and body and energy and technology better than most people. Better than most people, if not a lot of people, and not all the people. God, I couldn't I couldn't literally say yesterday I'm Superman. I said I'm Superman about 2 different ways yesterday. I said I have superpowers about 2 different ways yesterday. And today I'm saying I understand the relationship between pain, technology, the human body, life, the world, spirituality to a certain extent, but pain on that level. I'm talking about the physical body. I'm talking about the physical body, and I can explain it through spirituality. There's one or two more things I said before. So, whatever I said before, and I'm the best person in the world that understands that relationship. So, my estimation of 5 hertz, whether it feels better or not, it's a really good one to use alongside whatever you like to use. So, you can use 2 frequencies if you get into this stuff. The thing is, I thought I smelt a burning earlier, and well, it gets hot, and I thought maybe it's just the something on the cushion. But no, no, somehow this machine is designed to heal, and I'm running it at 100% admittedly, and I know it gets hot admittedly. But come on, What is the point of any technology that you put on at 100% and it self-destructs? So that's where I am with technology at the moment. All my technology's been weird. And from technology, how did we get anywhere else? Well, I can't remember the jump. But things have been very weird, like the technology going on. All of my technology's been really breaking again excessively. Excessively. I look at not only technology, but a bicycle. A bicycle is technology to a certain extent. And all my technology is broken, extra broken, more than it should be to my best estimation. There's some weird spiritual conspiracy going on here about life and reality. Last time this happened, I went mad in the end and burnt my boat down. I needed questions from life. What is going on? What is going on? My top light switches on and off whenever it wants. This light I've got down here behind me has a really great glow effect that it just slowly gets brighter and dimmer. I found that one. I saw it on eBay. It's worth 50 quid. I'm really lucky for that one. But the thing is, it's got a mind of its own. And I was like, oh, it's talking to me, this one. It's really gentle. But it has got annoying a few times. And I tried to break it once because it was so annoying, but it survived. It still survived. The point is, the reason I got annoyed at it is because it's got a mind of its own, just like the main light. It turns itself on and off whenever it wants. My internet connection has been coming through America. All my listings, when I look at them on eBay, have been American. I looked at I looked at some I'm into technology. There was some thing I was looking at, and it was showing my internet connection coming from America, UK, America, UK, America, UK. And I couldn't sign up because it said, you're in America, you're not able to. Really weird, no? I use a mobile hotspot for my internet. How on earth is that going via America now? I don't use a VPN. Maybe I'm being hacked. I'm being hacked. Well, we'll find out. The point is, my life was really weird before, and life is really weird now, to the extent that it's like reality's breaking is the best simple way I can say it. Reality just keeps breaking. The way I experience, oh, my laptop, I just woke up one morning and the screen stopped working. No reason, it just stopped working. That's happened to me before as well. In fact, that happened just before things got mad, and I said, no, I've got to leave. I've got to leave. This place is mad. So I've done it twice already. Life gets a bit mad, and technology is a sign that things are getting mad. I wake up on my fantastic laptop, the screen just dies. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Something happened to it and it just doesn't work. Okay, the screen doesn't work. I come back and oh no, it doesn't work altogether now. So many weird things with technology. But this has happened twice. And the two times before I've said, no, this is too mad. I'm out of here. And it's happened again for the third time. And on top of it, the third time, which is, I don't think it, well, my massage gun as well. My massage gun stopped working. But how did it stop working? It started not working. It didn't work. And then it turned itself on magically all by itself. And this happened on the boat. They used to turn themselves on and off all of the time. And this has happened with my massage gun. If I charge it now, be able to use it, but in the middle of the night, it might need to turn on by itself and run all the way until the battery dies, and I can't turn it off. So I can't really use that massage gun in a hurry. So it's not really, and that's when I need a massage gun. Like now, I don't really think, oh, my body's achy. No, I'm numb to my body. I can't feel my body, and I've got to catch my body in the moment. And I need the massage gun ready to go for those few moments in life. If I have to wait an hour for it to charge, it's useless to me. So if anybody wants a massage gun that talks and just needs a charge before they use it, and some sort of soundproofing container in case it goes off in the night, let me know and I'll sell it to you for like £1. You pay for the postage and no, I'll give it for free. I don't need a talking machine gun. I'm gonna have to replace it. I need one in a hurry. I know I said machine gun. So my life is really weird. All of those things, man. And the boat, they were really, really weird. And I had extra weird things. And I'm in open discussion with aliens at the moment. I had aliens turn up and knock at the boat. I'm trying to do the calculations on my electricity bill at the moment, and I'm like, 1 month I'm saving £100 when I'm using more, and another month I'm spending an extra £50 when I use a little bit. So it's weird. It's really weird. And that's the electricity meter. And that was going weird at the flat too. When I was at the flat, I said my MacBook was playing up and I had problems with my electric meter. And then my body started going mad as a result of everything, like it is doing now, believe it or not. So I'm getting some sort of interference by life, definitely. By life. I don't know if there's any responsible consciousness anywhere that says I'm not going to mess with Gabriel's electric meters. It will do this weird thing to his life and his body. As for all of the other things, well, yeah, I can believe somebody out there in the world has the technology or in the sky to just turn my light off randomly when it wants or on. No, it doesn't ever turn off. It just turns on. That one turns on. I think it turns off. No. I'll probably turn it off eventually. So they turn on and they don't really turn off at the moment. No, the massage gun turned off for once, but then it will turn itself on again. That's just where I'm at. So, next. Life is weird, reality is breaking, and well, I've just established this has happened 3 times now. 3 times now. The first time at the flat, the second time at the flat, I was alone. I didn't have any regular contact with anybody. Last year, I maintained contact with my family. Good contact. They're a bit weird. They're very weird. But I maintained the relationship and understood what I had to do just to maintain that relationship. This year, my uncle refuses to reply to my messages all the time. My sister has gone absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I won't tell you what she's done, but she has absolutely gone insane. But she was always insane. So if she was going to go insane, it was always going to look worse than everybody else. My Auntie Claire has gone insane also. My Auntie Zoya, who I haven't really had any contact with or communication with ever. I mean, I had a relationship with her as I did with all my family when I was younger. family occasions. We were all there. But for some reason, between me and my auntie Zoya, we didn't speak. Zoya, that's her name. I don't know if I'm meant to expose her real name to the world. I don't know if I've just pissed her off. To be honest, I don't care, because what it is, I've tried to make contact with her lately, and I did go in with a monetary request to help me out in life. But I said a few things there that said, "Hey, auntie, your nephew loves you. Yeah. And hey, auntie, I know I've asked the whole family for money, but I know you're the most hardest off probably out of everybody at the moment, to be able to give me maybe £100. But I really am in need, and I will accept pennies, you know. And by pennies, I mean £5, £20. And or just say, no, I can't. I really am that skint at the moment, Gabriel. How are you, though? What's going on? And have a little chat with me." And well, after the initial that, I realised I'm not going to get £20 off that specific auntie. That's all I expected at best from her. I didn't expect anything more from my auntie. I thought my auntie would come good with 20 quid in a time that I really needed £20. Well, I needed more, but from her, £20. And I persisted, and it's like, hang on a second, what's going on with you, auntie? What's going on with you? I know we've never tried to speak, but at the moment I'm trying to speak to you, and you're not quite normal. No? So 3 have gone insane, and I've discovered one is not normal. And I've got a great aunt in Cyprus who I need to reply to a message to, that for some reason, for some reason, for a few years, she used to reply to all my messages instantly. Like, as soon as, you know, you'd expect a normal person to reply to a message. Then something changed, and sometimes she doesn't reply, and sometimes she takes a few days to reply now. I don't know what's happened. And in one of the messages I sent her, I asked, "Can you explain this? I've got some emotional feelings I have towards you, that I've done something to you." She changed the way she messaged us, so maybe I need to say that bluntly to her. Why did you change the way you messaged me? Was it some sort of emotional message? She's a psychoanalyst, so she's not good in her head, but she's the best person. She's the best person. But because she's into Freud, no, don't just, she's a mess. But I trust her if I needed psychology. And I use psychology, and I know psychology must have some link to Freud in the finality. So I just use it for me, psychology, and it really works if I just personalize it, say, what is psychology to me? And go at it from that perspective. And for that reason, I've had good psychology sessions with my auntie. But I know inside of her, she's like, Freud, is it sex? Is it mother? Is it father? Is it sister? Is it brother? It's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting, no? I think it is. And well, I've got to sort that out in her. I've got to correct that in her. I've got to become her psychologist now. I think I've got a better perspective and understanding on psychology, to what it means to be human, and not think about our mind, our thinking, our experience of life and the world at that, like that, as a fundamental Freudian. Nah, no. I do not like Freud, but to be honest, again, what did Freud create in a finality? Psychoanalysis, which is what my auntie does. And if I'm honest, it's, but she's my auntie, so I've never had psychoanalysis with somebody else. It's a bit different to other psychologies, apparently. But yeah, no, I've had good psychology sessions with my auntie. So my auntie at the moment, my great auntie, she's only as mad as her last madness at the moment. She went insane first a few years ago for some unbeknown reason. Oh, was it? No, it might have been when I was at the flat. It might have been when this was all going on for me at the flat the first time. So I really haven't had contact with her for many years. So all of my family have gone insane. And well, tried to speak to my friend and I called him in distress. And he's my friend. And I'm just saying, mate, I just need a chat. Just distract me. Let's talk about anything. My brain is literally not working. This is where I am. I trust you. Take control of the conversation. It might not be the best thing from me. It might not be the clearest thing. It might not be the most sensible thing. I might not remember my sentences by the time I finish them. But let's chat. Let's help me. You're my friend. And what happened? He was I was having a chat with him, and that was happening from me. I was like, my problems were coming out. I'm not able to respond and have a conversation with you like a normal conversation. I'm troubled in this moment. I've got stuff on my mind. I feel beaten. I can't get my words out. So you're gonna have to be a little bit patient with me. But we're a friend. That's a normal. If someone's in that place and the other person's in another place, that's normal to expect. And I'm trying to chat with him. And every time that happens in me, what does my mate do? He changes the conversation. And he does it once, twice, three, four, five times. And then I'm like, hang on a second, what are you doing? I just need to chat with you. Why do you keep changing the conversation, making it feel like I can't communicate with you? He made it harder for the conversation to ever get started. We never really got a conversation underway. I never felt warmth or love or respect from him. And all I needed in that moment was a 10-minute chat about anything. And he said, I'm not going to chat about anything. No, I'm not going to do it your way. I'm going to do something else. And what did he do? I don't know. What logic is that in any human being? So my friend also went insane at the same time. And my life has been like, oh my God, this is really, really weird now. 3 times. I've just realized that today. This is 3 times this has happened. And I made the live stream yesterday, mix it up, was all I could take. And I'm like, all I've got is mix it up. This ain't going to work. I know where I am. I am absolutely terrible at the moment. I told you last time I burnt my boat down, it gets so bad. The first time it felt like I was going to implode and explode at the very same time. It was like an inside outside experience through energy. I was like, nope, I just know I have to leave. And I bought the boat with the last few pennies from my dad's inheritance. It was more of a case of I need to get out for myself, but my neighbours, I've disturbed them with all the shouting and screaming for too long now. I'm going to buy this boat. I shouldn't because it was terrible. It had nothing on it. It might have been might as well have been a floating shed. And I put all of my things on there, and I just live like a person living in a floating shed for a little while. I lived on it for, I don't know, a year and a half, and I made it. I was making it a home. I had everything there in the finality to make it a beautiful home, man. A beautiful floating shed. I would have loved the beautiful floating shed more than the flat. So it was possible that I could have a good life, but my life went fucking mad again. and I wasn't able. I learned a lot of stuff about my physical body just seeing it, but I had to do so much to get that. And my body, I was losing my body from a certain perspective and finding it from another. So on one level, it was like all of the physical health problems I have now really began. No, they began from the flat, but they kicked in on the boat. And on one level, it's like my body's dying. But within it, what I found was a perspective that said, hang on a second, your body's not dying. Your body's not actually dying. What it is, you need to lie down. You need to rest, and you need to seriously, seriously rest. But it wasn't so much now, from what I understand, rest. Rest is fundamental to life. As long as we have like a resting mentality to life, we know how to rest, and I've learned how to rest. So I don't need like a 6 month, 1 year just lying down, rest, doing absolutely nothing, which I did on the boat pretty much, other than going to the shops, which got pretty difficult in the end. And I made coffee with canal water because I couldn't get water from the shops because of my health. And it was getting worse from a perspective, but I wasn't worried. It was like, no, no, I'm actually getting stronger. I've realized what's going wrong with my body. And if I rest, if I give my body what it's asking for, I'm stronger. So on one level, it's like illness, but all you need to do is rest. And on that level, if you rest, you're getting stronger. But the more you begin to rest, it's not like you're getting stronger straight away, because you need to let go of your life and all the worries that go with your life as well. And if I've got to do shop runs pretty much every other day at least, and big heavy waters, and I'm living on a boat, so there's DIY constantly on my mind. That's all I was thinking about: DIY, 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 turning my floating shed into a beautiful, beautiful home for myself. I had everything there. I used to think about doing this project of the boat whilst I was lying down and incapacitated. Well, not incapacitated, I could get up, but I just realised I needed to lie down. And I used to spend my time smoking, drinking coffee, and thinking about repairing my boat. And I had it all done, and I pretty much had everything there, and was like 20 quid in my head that I needed to order to get that boat built. And I had it all in my capability. I was going to do it all myself, man. How amazing would that have been? But in the end, life got insane. Absolutely insane. And I said, no. I said, no, I need to know what's going on here. And it disappeared. Coming back to it, when we're resting, for the first time, if this happens to anybody else, what happened for me was, as I began to rest, that's when I began to know the relationship with my body and learn about my body and what my body needed. I'd never had that experience my whole life. I had all of these amazing things that I could do to make my body healthier and stronger, but I'd never had the understanding of rest to the situation. And when it came to rest, and I was in a rest mentality now to life first, I was no longer active in DIY or being able to easily go to the shops. It was almost like a consideration for my energy, my limitations, first of all. And well, since then, I've been able to apply all of those good things that I knew about my body and life and health and healing and strength and love and everything else and put it all into my body from a resting life perspective, a resting life perspective, resting life mental, no, resting life mind perspective. Something there. You pick your favorite one. So since then, I've moved to this shoebox, and it's been what I need for my physical body because I can't move far. I told you yesterday on the live stream, it should have taken me about half an hour to get a coffee that's about 2 feet behind the camera, and then about maybe 2, 3 feet in front of between me and the camera. So it's 4 or 5 feet away. My eyes aren't good at the moment. I can't be precise. 4 or 5 feet away. And I should have taken half an hour there, but I didn't. I rushed because I can. And that's what I mean. It's our choice whether we rest or push ourselves. But it's really clear to me what I'm doing now by pushing myself. But because my life and my mind has been wired for, what was it when I found out about this? 36? I was 36. Before I was able to implement it to this level, resting life mentality, I've programmed my mind to think about life and experience like everybody else, or like I chose all of that time. And what is it? Well, I can't take half an hour to get up there fighting through a lot of physical pain, and it's not going to be any more painful. In fact, it by the end of it, it should theoretically be less painful because I've done a lot of hard work to get there. But if I just sat here, that would be even better. And the point is, my mind says I can't wait for that coffee for half an hour with the amount of work it would take. Not half an hour, just the amount of physical work it would take me to do it the right way when I can rush. And all I know is my whole life that. Well, it's just there. I'll grab it. But what I know now from a resting life mentality is that should have taken at least half an hour. And that would have still been bad. That would have still been a loss. I would have still been losing other than sitting down. But I sit here, and because of my mind for 36 years, it needs to do stuff. And it's not to create a meditative experience. It's just when I did it on the boat, I didn't have technology around me for shit. I made a few live streams, but I used my laptop as a chopping board and an ashtray. That's that, and I loved my laptop because I used it as a chopping board and an ashtray. And the one or two times that I needed to use it as a computer, I could still use it as a computer. Other than that, I had a broken phone that I made a few live streams with. That, other than that, I might check once a week, but I wouldn't. I just literally used it to go to the shops and make live streams, place a few orders, and that's it. Place my orders. That was my phone. I had the same iPads as I just did, but they were broken. The screens were both broken on the boat. And I wasn't able to get on with DIY other than a little bit here and a little bit there. And I had nature. I had nature just outside my door, man. I mean, I lived on water. That must be so earthing. I don't know if you've heard about earthing technology. It grounds the body. And well, the boat had wooden floors, and your body's like about that much below the water level. So it comes up to your legs. And the body knows it. And the walls are metal. And I didn't have padding on the walls. It was, you saw the boat, it was a pretty much a state, a floating shed, and you'd touch the metal, sure you'd get rust, which isn't good for schizophrenia from my understanding at all. Rust, oxidization of metal is the fundamental creator, my best estimation, for what has caused schizophrenia in humankind. Rust. But what are we going to do? Fear metal? No. We've got schizophrenia already. We don't need the rust anymore. All we need is the right scenario when we tune into it and pick it up energetically. If you're taking a spoonful of rust and eat it, not going to help, I don't think, for schizophrenia. But we've got schizophrenia anyway, if you can just have it picked up from the right scenario. Don't eat rust. Don't eat rust and chance it. Don't think you're a big man. It's a serious, serious thing. But the point is, if you know you've got schizophrenia, eating a spoonful of it shouldn't be a problem. Why? Because we don't fear it. Why? Because it's never going to go away. And the best we can do is overcome it. And to overcome it, well, we're going to need to bring it out and see it in its full ugliness and get over it. So maybe, yeah, sod it. I'll eat a bit of rust and it won't really matter to the situation. So anyway, I had rust on the walls. They were metal and you could feel the water on the inside and there's water on the outside. And the metal is earth anyway. So the metal goes through to the earth. So I had permanent earthing. Permanent earthing. I had earth and the grass just outside my door, man. I used to open my door, walk. Well, I had a choice. I could walk a few seconds, I could walk a few seconds more, I could walk a minute, I could walk a few minutes, and I find different bits of nature. I look out my window, I've got birds, I've got water and plants, trees, probably. I can't remember what the trees were. But I had birds, man, and not normal pigeons with broken feet. No, man, I had herons. I had herons, and I had water birds with broken feet. And I used to talk to them. It was fantastic. It was beautiful, man. The birds taught me how to talk insane and keep it legit. Well worth the lesson. If anybody's interested, let me know. I'll put a package together. Don't worry, I know this mess will be a lot cleaner and make a lot more sense by the time you know me. And I'll be able to put out a package, a program, something where you might be able to find that same ability to speak. And that is worth gold. That is worth its weight in gold. I had to go through 2 stints of sheer madness and reality breaking around me for me to say, I can't take trying to be sane anymore. Because I had a mental health disorder label, it's like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Everybody's going to think I'm weird. And my weirdness is I'm so normal, I'm extra weird. Believe me. But I do spirituality too, which makes it a little bit precarious at times. And I'm wild and I'm passionate. But I'm simple. And wild and passion is contained, solidly contained as love only. So that's why when I say wildness and insanity or passion, It's all contained within love, and therefore it is very normal. It is very normal. But I had the ability with all of that passion. If life got me worked up just enough, just the right amount of times, then I would start talking to birds. Birds in a weird and wonderful new way, and it would make my life better. Gave me so much. So let me know if I get enough feedback that that's what's wanted in this world, then I'll do that. Where were we? Birds, broken feet, boat. Yeah, I had birds out my window, man. It was beautiful. And the canals. Fell in love with the canals when I was I don't know, around 20? I don't know, give or take a few years. One day I went for a cycle and I went down the canals and I'm like, oh my God, there's a bit of nature. I know it's a bit, well, I didn't see the mess. I never see the mess until it's a problem. And if the first thing I'm seeing is a bit more nature, water, so the water is still on a canal, so there's stillness. And that's the energy from the water. It's not like a flowing stream, a fast flowing stream. No, it's like a stagnant pool almost, or a slow stream. So it's really still energy. And there's nature there. And the nature, the way it is on the canals is like it's all at the sides and it's pretty squeezed in and compact. Squeezed in and compact. And the thing that I noticed about the canals in London, being autistic, and I understand we have a extra sensitivity somehow to sound and noise. I'm like, oh my God, it's like so quiet here. Rest of London is noisy. This is like the quietest place I've found in London that's got a whole network running through it. And that's where I fell in love with the canals. And you can live on there on a houseboat. It's not the normal life. It's a little bit more demanding. There are a little bit more things to do. It's not everybody's cup of tea or coffee. It's more a coffee than a tea. Requires a little bit of rolling your sleeves up and getting your hands dirty with stuff every time. Maybe taking the what is it? The loo cassette. So they don't have flush it out into the water boats in London, and they need to be pumped out and emptied. So it's a little bit messy. A little bit of grease, a little bit of consideration for how we're going to get our electricity today. Are we going solar? Are we going wind? Are we just going to run a generator or the engine and use the electricity from the engine? Oh no, I'm almost out of electricity. The solar wasn't enough. I need to go and run the engine now. Water levels. We don't have running water, obviously, on a houseboat. So we've got to go and fill it up every few miles, and they're really not the most obvious places to know. So you've got to really have your wits about you and make sure that when you move, it all lines up to the next water point. And you've got to move every 2 weeks. So you've got to think about a job, maybe. I've got to travel to the same place, but I'm going to be at a different place in London. And yes, sometimes I might be like 20 minutes away, but another time I might be an hour and a half away because you've got to move a certain distance. Your heating isn't central heating most of the time. Most of the time, it's a log burner on a boat. So it's like, again, dirt on your fingers a little bit, smell of smoke in the air a little bit. And all of that creates a really, really nice life, man. I love it. I loved it. And I lived in a shed. And I just dreamed of what it would be like once it was completed. I had one or two times where I tried to move on a houseboat a similar way before, and they ended in a similar way. Not, I didn't burn them down, but my life burned down. Wait, was that? Yeah, pretty much for both of them. My life burnt down. So, you know, three times a houseboat and three times reality breaking. Once on a houseboat, twice in a flat for reality breaking. Um, and well, today I'm like, well, what is going on? What is going on? And I think, well, I know this thing in spirituality now. There's this hidden thing in spirituality, and I believe it has Indian origin and roots. And the spiritual wisdom is at a specific stage in their spiritual development, one moves into accommodation alone. And that's a real requirement for them. They get a lot out of that. They get a lot out of that. And I don't know exactly what they get out of it, but I imagine they get a lot of out of that experience. It's necessary for them in a specific way. And well, I didn't have beef with that at all. I didn't have any problems with that. It just made sense. Sure, why not? But it's been a bit like, what is alone in a city? What is alone in a city? Well, you need to really have minimal friends and contact. And well, to have friends and contact that's minimal, you sort of have to lose them, but you don't. So on one level, you can lose them, and on another level, you can just not speak to them. And well, I was already kind of alone at the flat when it happened. And then my family, my uncle, my sister, made contact with me again after not speaking to them for many years. And we picked up a relationship. Um, I think that's all that happened. We just picked up a relationship. So in fact, at the flat, I was less alone than I was before. Yes. So I was less alone at the flat than I was before. But it was just enough, bare minimum of a relationship. And I didn't want to know them. I mean, I'd invite them round, they're my family, I'd get something from it. Even if I'm not on the best terms, if I'm alone in life, and they're my family, every so often, send them a message at least. And if not, make an effort once a year to see them in person. Whether you're pissed off at them or not, just being in their presence, if you can do your best that it's not going to make it worse. Yeah, I mean, you understand it's shit now. It's not what it used to be before. But you're not going to get punched in the face. Nothing really bad. Well, something bad might happen. Something bad might happen. But if you do your best, chances are it'll be the smallest bad thing that can happen. So, unless it's a really bad situation for anyone, and once upon a time they loved these people, make an effort, maybe once a year or maybe every other year, to see them in person, or at least FaceTime or video call, and maybe just a few messages just to say, oh, you're still alive, you're okay. It really does mean a lot, even if you hate them. And I hated them. And at the moment, I've got every reason to hate them again. It's like they've all said to me, Gabriel, you remember once upon a time you hated us? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, you remember last year when we were getting on? And I said, yeah. And then they said, you know, last year when you were getting on, you didn't have half your mind because when you went and burnt your boat down, you went to hospital and you had medication. And well, your mind got wiped like it always does when it goes to hospital. And because you'd left and you didn't have a boat, and then you went and lived with your auntie and your uncle for a few months, and they put emotional guilt trips on you when you were in the gutter. That was my other auntie. The other one I said went mad before. Her and her husband, me living there after being in a real difficult place in life, decided to put emotional guilt trips on me and make it really difficult for me to be there in their presence when I was just a little bit troubled, didn't say much, didn't do much, couldn't do much because of what I understood with my physical body. They lived on a hill. By the time I got to the house door, I'd be out of breath. I went and did what I could sweeping up with my uncle just to give me something to do. And I was like, please, please, let me go. Let me come with you. I need something to do. I didn't say it that way, but that was what was inside of me. And he was really mean to me sometimes, just sometimes. Wasn't a nice person with me at work. I, I didn't have the energy at all, but I didn't want to be inappropriate. And well, in the end, I ended up having to get the bus home pretty much most times. Oh, there's nothing for you to do today, Gabriel, again. Go home. I used to sit there just in a room, my physical body. I've lost so much consciousness from 6 months before, 6 months before when I was on the boat. When I was on the boat, as a result of the memory wipe in hospital and me not having my own home and my own bed and feeling like my own house. I'm in somebody else's home and I'm a burden now. That stress is put on me and I can't relax. I didn't like the bed. It's not my bed. I'm really picky about certain things, as you know. So they were really mean to me whilst I was staying there. And well, that put a lot of trauma on me. That really did. When I had half a mind to begin with, it's like, don't see the world from that little bit of your vision, just that little bit. We're going to take that little bit of vision to away from you. It's like emotional hypnosis to life. And I was here with nothing here in the flat months later, and it was like it just came out of me. Oh my God. It happened twice. My uncle first, because he was the obvious realization that he's just a horrible bastard. I can't remember how I described him, but I'm pretty sure it was worse than horrible bastard. And it's just like the trauma of the emotions they put me under was realized in my head because I couldn't believe what I was experiencing from people who supposedly loved me. The way I deal with my family is give them total control and respect. Always, never question them. That's not me. I prefer to chill, have an easy time, and well, that's love. You give them freedom to be who they are and take control, and we get on. So I don't question people sometimes. I didn't question why are you doing this? I just said the reality is, as a result of doing this, you're a horrible bastard, both of them. And that just burst out of me into the open. It was like this feeling that was inside of me as a result of the situation without really analyzing or contemplating on it at all. And one day it's just like my body finally relaxed to the right level and it just burst out of me. Oh my God, he's horrible. He's horrible. And it's like this emotional trauma release burst out of me. Why did that happen? From my auntie and uncle who loved me. Anyway, I end up here and I can't remember where we were before. I can't remember where we were before. Um, so there'd been three occasions of boats, and there'd been three occasions of clearly definable madness from life. Now, the first two times on the boat, the first time I was at work, I used to work a full-time job. And that time, what led to the finality of me losing the boat, no, I held on to it a bit longer, but it was just like my mental health. It was just like my mental health. There's no way I could separate the events that happened to me the first time at work and at home at the moment without having reflected on them much, is to say that it was my mental health. So my mental health was the problem the first time on the boat. On the second time on the boat, my mental health was definitely the problem again. My mental health was definitely the problem again. And oh no, I've just realized what happened on the second time on the boat. I can't tell you what happened on the second time on the boat because the way I refer to what happened on the second time on the boat was the darkest summer of my life. It was a little bit unpleasant. And I realised what took place on the boat should have set off a response from other people. I was doing something that was naughty. It wasn't naughty, but it was naughty. And that naughtiness in relationship to other people deserved at least a few people to ask me what is going on. Really and truly, what is going on? And there were lots of people that should have just been able to say what is going on. And not one person has said that. Not one person said that. So, in fact, as much as it was definitely my mental health, there was definitely reality breaking. But the point is that weirdness in people had been displayed to a lower extent in everyday life for many years before. And I did something naughty and I realized, oh no, there is something wrong with other people now. So that was a big realization of reality breaking. So in fact, we could call it maybe 4 times reality is broken. And what I went through on that boat was also reality breaking 100%. So I had two massive reality breakings, but it was all caused as a result of my mental health first. And it was I can't I want to deal with it at the right time for myself. That's the way I work through emotional stuff, and this is one sticky issue that I'm not happy to express any emotion or descriptive words that I'm not happy with. In case it, well, no, in case there's nothing. It's just my life. My life is special to me. My memories are special to me. When I go back to heal it, I want to be in the right place to deal with it. I don't want it to be painful. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking about it and I'm going to be remembering it and feeling the pain. I don't want that. That's how sensitive I am with what happened. So, do we call that a 4? Do we call that a 3.5? I mean, it was definitely reality breaking, clearly to my mind. But I've only just really put two and two together. I've only seen that now. But that was my experience. And well, could it have been the first time on the boat and all the weirdness that was happening at work? And I got a little bit extra weird. So the first time on the boat, could it be what was hidden behind my mental health was reality breaking also? What I can think of at the moment is people. People, my boss and his boss came and spoke to me. And the way they spoke to me was very, very strange. I just really wanted to get away from them. They approached me and they said, on another level, hey, Gabe, I was called Andreas at the time. Hey, Andreas, we know you're troubled at the moment. We'll know you're troubled at the moment. And that's what I remember. And the finality was, look, keep with it, and keep coming to work and work through this. And you've just got us here next to you. And that was a really weird energy for me. I'm thinking, I've got a serious problem going on in my life at the moment. I remember it as a depression when it sprung up in the first place, when I realized it. It was a depression. That's why I say it's my mental health. And, well, the people, the way they approached me wasn't appropriate. Just keep coming to work. What the fuck? Someone's depressed, they should be at home resting. I knew that. I'm like, I don't want to be at work when I'm healthy, man. I'm depressed because of my life. And your best suggestion is, shh, we can't tell you what's going on. This is a secret. We know you're in trouble. We know you're got problems, and we're not going to say that 100%, but that's what's going on in the communication 100%. But no words are saying that. And we're here for you. Just keep coming to work. Just keep coming to work. We're here. That's all I remember at the moment. And I thought, what the fuck? I'm off. I'm off. That sounds like the fastest way to becoming a sheep. Sorry, I look at everyone, I think we're all fucking mad with what we do with work. We really have to be loving what we do. Really love being a designer, really love being a cleaner, really love being a entrepreneur, really love being a aeroplane pilot. And that means, yeah, sure, go and do it every day. What's the issue? But I really didn't want to be in that job at all. No, that wasn't my ideal job. In fact, I hated it to such an extent, it's unbelievable. And I was only there because the benefit system said, well, you don't have a choice. You need a job. What job? The first job you'll get. Otherwise, we'll stop your benefits if you don't say yes and you get a successful interview. If you don't say yes, I'm fantastic to a yes from an interview, they'll stop your benefits. So I had to go with that job. And I hated it. The company was horrible. They treated their people, they treated their staff horribly. All their items, to my best estimation, came from Bangladeshi sweatshops. And I used to sell that. And I had to sell cheap perfume. And I had to do my job to the best of my ability. And I am really moral. I don't like selling to people in the first instance unless we're playing a game and it all goes back in the box and nobody loses money or anything. That's the way I was before. And all of a sudden I've got to sell basically shit to people now. I have to sell it. Otherwise I don't eat. I don't survive. What am I going to do? So I did my job the best of my ability. And the best of my ability said, well, you're half working for the company, but what are you doing? You're selling something to the customer. So you're half working for the customer. And that's the best I could do with the mentality to selling them shit. Don't take the perspective, oh, they walked into my shop, they didn't have to. No, you got massive advertising, you got cheap prices. Do you advertise that you've got all of this comes from Bangladeshi sweatshops and pictures of the families that have been ruined and ripped apart on the walls? Not a shit chance. Really pissed me off having to work there. I felt sick because of that. But I did my job because it was my job, the best I could do, because I'm a fucking samurai when it comes to work. I give everything. And the best I could do for myself, selling a human being shit, is to say I can only do it half for you. I'm still corrupted the other 50%. I don't have to be here, but I need the money. I have to be here. And I was assistant manager and I tried to look after my staff to the best of my non-assistant manager skills and everything I knew. And I noticed weirdness in people in and around that time with one of my staff members. I was in the office at the time and I was really going through it for the first time. And this guy kicked off. It's like, wow, I actually get on with you. You're a really good guy. You're a really good guy. And then I go through my problems and he turns into a weird man. And he starts being weird and not a good employee. And in that moment, when I'm going through it in the office, he's giving me hassle about using my charger to charge his phone. And it just said weird energy, definite weird energy, like with my bosses, definite weird energy. I didn't speak to anybody else. I didn't see anybody else at the time. None of my family. I'd run away from home. That shed of a boat was a bit better. It didn't have running water either. Didn't have running water. And it was a bit of a shed. A bit of a shed. I didn't really know what I was doing with boats. That was my first boat, so it was a learning lesson. And I tried to. I told myself I'm going to build this boat courtesy of Poundland. What is Poundland? Poundland is a shop in the UK. And guess what? How much do Poundland sell their items for? Yes. Yes. Not £1. No. No. Not anymore anyway. At the moment, they're all over the shop. I don't know what happened. I don't know how the UK government hasn't taken them to court. UK, Poundland UK, purchased the 99p store UK. And these are like chains all over the country. So they got a monopoly going, Poundland. And all of a sudden, Poundland is able to start charging more for its items than £1. And now you walk in and half the things are like £4, £5. That's a monopoly. They should be taken to court. No. Change your name at the very least. But the time that I said it, I said, I'm building my boat on Poundland. Everything in Poundland is guess how much? Yes, £1. I was a complete idiot when it came to being able to live on a boat at the time. But I got weirdness on an extra level from other people then. But I had my mental health. So it's like if I was positive, I'd have just brushed it off. Oh, don't worry about it. Change the dynamics of the conversation. But the point is, I'm depressed. And I might be a little bit sad. I don't know if my productivity had dropped and was noticeable at all. But I don't remember anything. In fact, I remember getting an assessment from an area manager, not an area manager, a top area manager. And he came for our assessment, and the shop was on point. And I did my absolute best as assistant manager to have that shop looking as the way it was. And it was my responsibility. And I got good praise. So I can't imagine it would have dropped off too much, but I had a high standard. So any drop off would have been noticeable. So on one level, we could say it was all mental health that time. And I went mad. And as a result, I lost that home. The thing is, what is it in this world if someone is depressed that's what they hear? I haven't got a problem with paranoia. I've got paranoid schizophrenia. I know within me I have what is a paranoia label. I understand why that may have been put on me once upon a time, but it's not really a problem for me. I know it. I know paranoia. Because I used to do conspiracy theories thanks to David Icke. And it taught me with conspiracy theories, you've got to really take them seriously, the ones that make sense. And it's not something you want to swim about in too much. It's a really dense energy, and it's not really nice to think about and live every day. So when it comes to deep, dense energies and paranoia, which is like thinking about possibilities of things, you need to really keep focused. You need to keep it on the level, and no, you shouldn't be there for too long. Just get what you need, and that's it. So the point is, I'm going through depression, and depression is similar to paranoia in that moment. Because, well, what's going on? I'm a bit depressed inside. And my bosses are speaking to me. And to be honest, I really don't remember the exact nature of the conversation, and that changes everything. So really and truly, that rules that one out. But I remember it as two definite weirdnesses. They were definitely weird on that day to my best estimation and judgment of human beings. And so too was my other employee. That had never happened to me before. Why is it that I experienced that when I was depressed? Because I'm both depressed and clear at the moment, and I was last year also. And I've analysed my judgment on life, and I've realised, oh no, I've been, well, what do you say, underdogging yourself, undercutting yourself, due to how sincere I am over a lot of things. And that's really said to me, hang on a second, Gabriel. You're the one with paranoia on yourself, yet you've just seen these few things that you always doubt yourself on, because that's just who you are, that you've just seen, and it is really 3 or 4 big things. Can't remember now exactly what, but it was 3 or 4 times, and it's big things like life, really a lot of energy about it, where I cut myself short. A lot. Always question myself, think to myself, like, No, it must be me. Just say it's me and get on with it. It's the easiest way. But this time I realised, no, on these few things, you've taken a shit ton, and you thought all of these times you're the one responsible. When in these cases, no, it's actually really clear it's other people. So that's where I am in my judgment by my nature on autopilot, so I can just get on with things. I try not to dwell on negatives unless there's need, necessity. And I've gone into the dark places that have bear no fruit, I'm sure, but a lot of it has come good after through the darkness. I'm still not out of it, but I'm able to stand in it now. So I look back at that and I say, on account of what I've just understood of myself, yeah, sure, I've got the label paranoia. But for someone who's just a bit depressed, I shouldn't have received that as weird. Where's the love from people? Oh, you're a bit depressed. Hand over your shoulder. A hug, a boost. But no, just keep coming to work. Just keep coming to work. That's how I remember the conversation. We're not going to say anything. We know. This is what I do remember. This is how I remember it. And again, my memory's really bad, but why am I going to doubt myself there when I'm normally quite accurate? Is there anything to doubt myself? No. I've been very, very undercutting myself in my message to you. So you work out how much does Gabriel deserve as a finality. And I say, my memory says, I stood there, my bosses were next to me, and they didn't really give much, but they said on some level, and I really don't remember what the conversation was. So they might have been open and honest. Yeah, I'm not doing too good at the moment. But it was a case of just keep coming to work. That's not healthy. That's not resting. I just told you I've discovered a resting mentality to life. And in depression, well, in depression, you need to be both proactive and you need to rest. Ultimately, we're only depressed. This is my experience to feel its energy. It's very, very soothing. It's very, very soothing once all of the emotions get out of the way and all of the drama gets out of the way. We can just sit and we're a bit heavier. We don't have to think about our body so much. We get away with maybe like, oh, I can eat a little bit more of the naughty things and it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. And that counts for a lot. Just not caring if you care what you eat most of the time. So it's one's relationship to food. So for some people, they can get away with eating a lot more. Other people say, sod it, I don't really want to eat and eat less, which is better for the body anyway. So it's listening to the body really in that moment and giving to the body. And if you're depressed, what do you do? Well, you don't do much. You sit around and don't do much. So that's when you eat depression. But the point is, we need to get out of depression. And to get out of depression, we have to be proactive. Oh, depression? Don't do depression if you're not proactive. It's got to be a proactive depression. Otherwise, you're insane and you're hurting yourself, man. And it might seem like, no, I'm not doing anything, but we've been habitually programmed that way, and you're hurting yourself when you don't have to. There's things to get from depression: a weight, an energy, a soothing, just the energy, not the shit that caused it. As a result of the shit that caused it, that is what balances it out for the physical body. Until the physical body just gets bored and says, right, I'm going to get up. But because of our habitual programming, we can't just do that. As a result, we've got to get the good from the depression, but we've also got to balance it out and make sure we're not dwelling in it. And therefore, there is no depression. There is proactive depression as a result of our programming. Otherwise, there is no depression. It's just, oh, I sat down for 2 weeks and did absolutely nothing, man. Now's the time to get up. It feels like now's the time to get up. Let's get up. Oh, the sun's out today. How nice. And we get on. And it's as simple as that. But for us, what makes sense, if this is the world, is proactive depression. To understand it, to understand the nasty bits about it, not what caused it. That's just the world, man. Depression doesn't cause depression. The world causes depression. And I'm not a psychologist. I don't know everybody's condition. So forgive me if depression causes depression for some people. But my understanding is most people it's going to be as a result of external happenings or their physical body, and they've lost a shed ton of energy, which means they're zapped, and it's like they're slurring their words, they're forgetting their sentences midway. It's so bad and severe. Oh no, what does the body do? Forget about it, man. Forget about it. Don't look at it. Just chill. Just rest. It feels heavier. Just feel the soothing energy and we'll get up and get on. So that's understandable. Oh, maybe my disposition isn't to be so proactive with depression, and my disposition is to be more depressive, and I get stuck in it. So the way they approached me was a case of, we know you, Gabriel. We know you. We know you're going through depression. As a result of the way you handle depression, what you need to do is be proactive. As a result of that, keep coming to work. We are here if you ever need a chat. You're fine, Gabriel. You're fine. This isn't just you. Happens to everybody. But the best thing, so it doesn't get any worse, is for you to keep coming to work. Maybe you need to change jobs or something, change up the energy if this place is depressing you, because we know you to this level. But that wasn't the case. It was two dumb idiots that worked in retail with no idea about psychology, talking to me on the level of how to handle my depression fucking best. What the fuck? What the fuck? I've got the training in alternative therapy. I am a big man when it comes to psychology. Yeah, I did some energy work, which means I'm a psychologist. To them, not to anybody else, to them, I'm a fucking psychologist to my understanding of depression. Greeks really do depression. I was depressed as a teenager. I know depression. I didn't have the wisdom I have now then, though. So I admit my ability to get out of it was shit. I was destined for the trash heap. I was destined for the trash heap. But the point is, I had two people approach me and the conversation revolved around that state. So how did they approach me? It wasn't through open language. We're a loving company. We're just your bosses, and we're a loving human. It's not even about the company. You're going through depression. Look, I know depression, and I know you, and you're not going to do well in depression. So you need to be proactive. Keep coming to work or change your job. You choose, man. We're here for you. Whatever you choose. But no, there's two people that I can't believe would have known that at all. I've had to work through a lot of depression in my life to come to that wisdom. Nobody talks about depression a lot in this world. Not many people. One of my teachers, John DeMartini, says a lie, and I'll call him out now. He says depression doesn't exist, and he's fucking lying, the bastard. It exists. But from a perspective, I can label it that it doesn't exist. And telling people it just doesn't exist is a good thing most of the time. We don't talk about depression. No, shh. So is it some secret esoteric wisdom going round in society where people know about depression and it's this real big thing? And it's really simple when somehow they learn without learning it. They don't get taught it, they just know it. Is that possible? Not a shit chance when we need to fucking rest first. Where are people going to get that information? Not a fucking chance. So, real big conspiracy there. What happened with Gabriel's bosses and the one weird employee? We don't know. I can't say for anything that it was reality breaking, anything more than what I'd already experienced. But we've highlighted the situation that was the situation. Somehow people are approaching me, telling me, giving me advice when I should be giving them advice in this moment. You look for the most knowledgeable one. None of us are a psychologist. Who's probably best in this moment? The one with alternative therapy training. Not just a solid career in retail and fashion. No, I've had some alternative therapy training. I've got an understanding of mind, body, energy relationships. I've been doing this for years now. It's my interest. It's my hobby. It comes naturally to me in a way. And yet, no, they're approaching me saying, this is how best to deal with your depression in a way that defined the whole conversation to what I guess my memory really isn't great, but that's how I remember it, man. But my memory wasn't great, and they approached me and they said, we know this is going on for you, but keep coming to work. That really shouldn't have happened. That really shouldn't have happened. How on earth was that possible that these people are wise to depression and they're able to communicate this on another level? Unless I'm tapped into something else, man. I told you I've been speaking to aliens since I was 17. What if it was some in between Rosetta Stone that's just like a ball of energy and it's controlled by cunts and idiots in the sky. I don't like using that word on this channel. Fuck and bitch and shit. If they pop out, they pop out. But the C word isn't allowed. So the idiots in the sky, they're controlling this ball of energy in between us. And as a result, what they're doing is they're controlling the dynamics of our shared space. And they're saying whatever happens, we'll do our best to guide the conversation in the way that we want. And my bosses they both speak the same words. And I speak in relationship to those words. But at the same time, there's a ball of energy that holds us that's controllable with a specific intention. Therefore, it can pick and choose one word to another. So if I go to describe my monitor, how do I describe my monitor? So that is what two people might have a conversation about. The words they choose, where they start, where they finish, what they pick out to say, where does that come from? Well, it comes inside of us, doesn't it? Yeah. Where does it come from? We don't know. It's just what feels right. We just speak it. We think a little bit. We speak a little bit. But I'm autistic. And the way I speak is to energy. So I don't like to to break above my comfort level and have to raise my voice and speak up. And for that reason, I'm contained within my body, and my body is contained within energy. And when I think, I choose words that are all contained within that energy as much as possible. If I have to, I'll speak above. And that's what autism looks like to me. But in that place, I reckon I'm really controllable. Whereas most people, I don't think, do that all the time. I don't believe most people do that all the time. So maybe it was just me. Maybe I had someone in the sky with an energy ball around me saying, listen to this guy this way, listen to this guy this way. I don't think that was my mental health. It wasn't my normal mental health paranoia. I've gone through depths of paranoia, and that wasn't paranoia. That was just an experience, an honest experience, including energy, which I know I've known and worked with for many years. And that's how I read it. That's how I feel it. That's how I experience it. It's all energy. So it could be what? My mental health is an energy problem now? I'm going to slap someone in the face for the medication I've taken for my brain when you're telling me it's energy. So mental health is an energy problem. One possibility. Idiots in the sky controlling my energy. And I'm feeling that extra control, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, and it's making well, I wish I remember, man. It might have been so simple that that's the words they said. I really don't remember. I'm cutting myself short again. So we'll have to leave it. The first time is an anomaly where the reality was breaking. But I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 times of reality breaking now. And I've always been alone when they occurred. The first time I was working, so I still had contact with people more than the other times. Other than that, I keep myself busy. I'm proactive. I go to the shops. I don't go out and socialise. And it's only as much as my health can take. So it's most of the time local shops. I rarely go out of the area. And as I said before, there's this thing in spirituality that once someone's come of a certain spiritual age, my understanding is, they go off and they live by themselves for 2 years to get to know themselves better. And that sounds like really good wisdom. And well, if I'm on the boat, if I'm alone, let it happen. That's fantastic. I'll go through that. But what's the situation? The times that I've sort of found myself in that position, the last 3 times, the flat was very similar to this. I used to go out just to the shops, just for walks, and that was it. At the boat, just for the shops, just for a few walks, and a few messages to my sister. Oh, and I got my uncle to come round because he's a builder, and I needed 1 or 2 small things done on the boat. So I had my uncle come round once or twice, but I didn't really keep in contact with him regularly with messages. It's like, oh, I need some work done. Can you come round? How much will it cost? Um, so I was alone all 3 times, very similar. I still have contact with human people, but I'm alone. I don't have any friends. My family, I used to hate them. Last year, my brain was wiped. The year before, my brain was wiped. Last year, my brain was still wiped, but I had energy and I had life, despite my physical body, and I was in a place where I was getting my physical body moving and resting, and I had life. I had it in the bag. I didn't have half my brain, but I had my body. I was doing a resting mind life mentality, resting mind life mentality, resting life mentality. That's what I was doing last year, and I had it going. I was living with it. I was functioning. I was working through my body and unlocking doors with my body for the first time. I went to hospital last year, and that got put even further down, and I left hospital with no brain this time. They took half my brain the first time, and this time I left with no brain. That's the experience and how it felt like. And well, in truth, in truth, I got fucked over being sent to hospital last year 2, 3, 4 times by the words that have come out from the healthcare professionals. There were 3 mistakes that I can clearly recall that say no. People are actively getting in the way and sending me to hospital, yet the way they approach me in terms and relationship to the outside world and understanding states I've been done over. I'd been done over by them. I had 3 errors, 3 mistakes, but it wasn't mistakes. I tried to get one of the mistakes half corrected, and they didn't want to oblige. So it was like, no, you're going to stay there too. So that was reality breaking, isn't it? I mean, I get little breaks all the time, all the time. It's unbelievable from people. But this one knocked up at my door when it shouldn't have at all and sent me to hospital. And this year has been absolutely goddamn awful. I had life last year on some level. It was terrible being here in the beginning in the flat with nothing, but soon enough, maybe after about 6 months a year, 8 months a year, I started to find life. The first 8 months were atrocious. And it's been like that since the last admission. And it's been a few months where I'm like getting to grips with things and I'm realizing how bad they are this time. Last time, I was lucky I had activity straight away, but my body's lost a lot of consciousness and energy over the last year. And I haven't been able to rest as a result of something that's going on inside of my body. I mean, everything I do is for rest. It's just what I need to take to get it into my physical body at the moment isn't possible. And because I'm alone, that makes it so much harder. But the point is, I've just realized again in my last 2 hospital admissions where it feels like half my brain was taken the first time and half